Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for June 21st, 2016. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of crude oil futures. The first thing we're looking at is this high right here is 52.22. We have a low down here, 46.40s, and a midpoint at 49.40. That gives us a key range here for the recent move that we've seen. So we found a high up here in that LVN. We dropped until we couldn't go any lower, finding a low last week, and now we've snapped back toward the midpoint of that range. That's a market-generated key range right there that I'll be using for analysis here for the upcoming period of time. Right now, we're just chopping around the midpoint of that level. We have an HVN here at 49.78. That's also near the previous week's high. So right now, the early rejection above the previous week's high has opened up a little bit of weakness here. But I expect a little bit more chop back and forth around this area with it mostly tilting up. We've obviously been in an uptrending market. We have a well-developed channel here that's kind of built out, and this channel right here implies further strength toward that 53.40 target we talked about before. So 53.40 is the next major target above. That's this area right here, 53.94 now is the updated level, so 53.94, and then we have the 55.53 as the new updated HVN above now that we're on the new Q contract. So we could see much more strength ahead. However, it could be a little choppy short term as a little bit of absorption occurs, especially off of the recent LVN here off 47.75. So we'll see how this continues to develop, but overall, look for a little bit of chop ahead of continued strength over the next week or two. Now, if we take a look at the ES here, basically the ES saw a significant rejection of prices at the previous week's high, 20.89. So that's what we were looking for yesterday. So what's going to happen in this zone? We saw a rejection already last week. Are we going to see it again this week? My expectation was that we were likely going to see a rejection, and we kind of did, but it was a significant move to the end of the day. Now we're kind of trading back up into the tail. So again, 89 is very, very important here for bears to defend for a likely return back to the HVN between 44 and 52. That's the idea. Any pullback could be a buying opportunity, but for right now, it looks like another retest of value will be seen if a rejection occurs. So better to see how price responds back in value before another return occurs. If we take a look at gold here, here's a look at gold. Right now, gold, we talked about the support off of 1280s that likely was going to see the stops get taken out and stops run occur. That was because we obviously had a rejection day up here on these highs. That was a rejection also above the key range high, 1308s, and basically what the idea was that if we're going to find this impulse key range here from this low to this high, and we're going to cement that range, we needed to come back to the midpoint of that range. That's 1260.3. Once we do that, we will have a key range with important key levels to watch for the upcoming period of time, and that's likely going to influence movement here over the next couple of months. So this is a very, very important range. So the idea was, with all the bulls defending here over the last several days, there's a lot of sell stops below. The sell stops are starting to get triggered. The expectation would be a continuation toward 1260.3, whether today, tomorrow, the rest of the week, but that's the target. If we take a look at the primary bear target for the week, that's 63.90. So very, very nice confluence there on how likely it is that we'll see it. A 100% bear target for the week would be 1252. That would be an average range bear target over the last 10 weeks. So easily we could see 1260 by the end of the week, and this is the target zone for continuation. Now what we want to see is price close the day bearish. It needs to close below 74s, especially below the 80s. Once that occurs, a pullback could be seen as a selling opportunity for a continuation downward, with a likely continuation move into 1238.5. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. The NQ right here, obviously we had the LVN that we were watching yesterday, which is 44.34.75. That's the level right there. Major LVN. And that was the zone. That was the zone where we were watching. Bears were defending here, here, here. The early expectation was that at some point we could see a push through them, given the fact that these bears have been defending, yet they're not really getting paid. So at some point, we may see the upside stops get run above this zone. So there's buy stops above this area. So that's what we're looking for right now. This current pullback is really nice for the bears at the moment, especially given the fact that they were able to defend. But you can see right here that bulls are defending off of value. That's 43.89.5 basically. That is also the weekly pivot point. So there's a lot of important confluence of pivots there. And I would say that below that level opens up a retest of lows and a likely move into 43.44, which is the primary bear target on the week. So right now there's not much more. Bears don't really want to see this thing get much higher because as it continues to climb, I think the chances increase of a rally through that 44.34 and into the next HVN above, which is going to be 44.86 half. So right now, very important levels. You got 43.89 half, 44.34, and 44.86. Those are the next key zones. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.